रमनजु की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। राधा श्री राधा रमन जू की जय, आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय, श्री माधवेंद्र पुरी पाद की जय, यदि आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय, श्री श्रीनिवास आचार्य की जय, आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय, श्री परमेश्वरी ठाकुर की जय, तिरुभाव महामहोत्सव की जय। बुद्धा अवतार की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। विष्णु बुद्धा।
What's the difference between Gautam Buddha and Vishnu?
Two completely different personalities.
We will discuss some of that.
Yes.
Maharaj ji. But after the maybe we could break it up. This one, yeah, she could speak about this, and then maybe a little later, maybe after we tie in the Lord, and then like I don't know, maybe have a chat sometime if there's a question later.
Yeah. I think it's important to make that point. We had some hard legislation a couple of weeks ago. I just think anybody else knew. Not too. I don't think anybody else knew.
Harm really went deeply into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Mangalacharan. It is on page 1 of our Sri Gaudiya Giti Gucha, and it is calling for the grace, the presence, the mercy, the sidelong glances of our beloved Gurudev, our Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Varga, Nitai, Gauranga, Radha, and Krishna, for their grace and mercy. And everyone, please squish forward because more devotees are coming. There was some problem with the tube. A news alert came and said that there were some power outages, so some devotees may be late, but we need to accommodate their arrival. Yeah. But we don't want to disturb anyone. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ramadakam Shri Vaishnavansha Shri Ruma Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadhutam Parijana Nairaviti Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasar Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gauraveshkaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Swashtitanancha Paline Jiva Dure Sakarataya Shri Nama Prema Gaine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Pramamaya Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Jvala Premanya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktina Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Niratarine Rupanuga Virudhama Siddhanta Vantavarine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Viprahambhara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Nirhama Bhume Swam Nirveshwa Sajanapriya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatha Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauravise Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatam Surato Pambo Mama Mandamate Gati Vatsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Mananamo Hano Asya cha Krishna Bhakti Pradevi Satyavate Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktatyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, page 32 in Sri Gaudiya Gita Gucha. If anyone has found the songbook of Gopinath, did you write Jai Gopinath in there or just
Jai Gopinath?
Jai Gopinath, please return it to him.
Please return Jai Gopinath's book.
32.
I think we left it at Aj's. Normal. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Edakse Pranapekayati Hira Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Edakse Pranapekayati Sakala Sahame Koladiya Vara Nijamani Sriha
As you like, Haribol, we did a program at your house a long time ago, right?
No, we've
Yeah.
done a couple of programs on it. Oh,
Her house, yeah.
Yours
Your house.
too.
And you sang, I remember you were singing really nice Hare Krishna Kirtan. Long time before.
Yeah, several years ago.
Your dad's like the king of Harinam, right? He's like out there all the time. I remember. Okay. Right.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I think you need to sit up in the back.
Karibo. Nice kurta. Someone was sitting there. Yeah. I saved your seat. Thank you. Here. Look at the chairs up here. Kirupe.
And there's two chairs back, and there's hearts.
Kirupe paibo seva mui duracha.
You sit there and you're dazzling white.
Yeah,
You'll just blend into the back. You can sit next to Thakurji and just be like Purnima with them.
Alright, I'll go there, I'll go back.
What bhajan, Maharaj?
Kirupe paibo seva.
45. 45 only.
Page
45
45.
only.
45.
Only 45.
45. There you go. And you can share with her. Ashtakam. We're going to sing Sri Shad Goswami Ashtakam, glorifying the 6 Goswamis. But especially today because it is written by Sri Srinivas Acharya. And so if we want to know how to glorify the 6 Goswamis, we take shelter of that person who knows them, who has seen them, and who knows how to glorify them. And today is his appearance day. 264. We can also, yes. Today is the appearance anniversary of Srinivas Acharya, of Sri Madhavendra Puripad, the disappearance of Parameshwari Thakur, and the appearance of Sri Radharaman, and also Buddha Avatar. So, Krishnot Kirtana Gananartana Paro, Remamritam Bhaunidhi. And I think because it's quite long, we can sing it together in a very, very simple tune, not too fast, so that we can pronounce the words. 264.
Together, all together.
Yes. I'm just making sure it's the right. Krishna.
If you prefer, I don't mind to take turns if you want.
Don't worry, just do your thing.
because today is many very important holy days packed into one day, I requested Maharaj if he can speak on Sri Srinivas Acharya now, because we just sang his bhajan, and then later on we will speak about Madhavendra Puripad, and then after that Sri Radha Raman, and maybe after if there's any time we can have discussion about Vishnu Buddha compared to Gautam Buddha.
No comparison.
Contrasting.
End of discussion.
Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shlakayam Aksharam Militam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namanim Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namane Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhabhyayavacha Putitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Offer my humble obeisances, lotus feet to my beloved Diksha Guru, Nityalila Prabhu Shishima, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Lotus feet to my beloved Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Rupanubhava Shishima, Bhaktivedanta Narayan, Swami Maharaj. Lotus feet to my beloved Shiksha Shiksha Guru, Shri Bhakti Vidyam Bharati Maharaj. All our Rupanubhava Guru Varga. Lotus feet to Shri Srinivasa Acharya, Shri Madhavendra Puripad, Shri Parameshwari Thakur, Vishnu Buddha, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, and all Vaishnavis present, headed by my senior god sisters. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Please speak a little loud so that all the way in the back they can hear
Some
you.
of your senior god sisters forgot their hearing aids.
I forgot my speaking aid. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pretending to have a mood. So, today, it's the appearance day of Sri Srinivasa Acharya. He's a delicious personality.
I like it.
Very relevant to us because he came just as Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and everyone were just leaving. Of course, there were still many associates, but the main, like Panchatattva, he never. Shigadadha Pandit, he had association with for some time. So we're in somewhat similar situations. That within, like the last 10 years, 15 years, so many associates of Srila Saraswati Prabhupada have left. And their direct disciples have also left, mostly, many. So it's a very difficult situation, how we can continue. So, Srinivasa Acharya had a very, very blessed appearance. His father is called Gangadhara Bhattacharya. He was present when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, when Nemi Pandit took sannyas. And he went mad. Everyone was, it was very, very dramatic. Baba was crying and crying and crying as he shaved off Lord Chaitanya's beautiful, Nemi Pandit's beautiful curly locks. Everyone was crying and weeping. They wanted to throw Keshari Bharati Maharaj's hut into the thunderstorm. throw his heart into the Ganga. It was very dramatic. And then they announced his new name will be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And Gangadhar Bhakti, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And he just went mad. He was traumatized. And he went back to his village and he was just going, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Yeah, so they called him Chaitanya Das. So after some time, he was living with his wife. They had no desire for children, anything. But after some time, both of them developed a desire to have a son. Couldn't understand why that is. In the end, they decided to go to Jagannath Puri and actually get blessings from Lord Chaitanya, who was there. So they went to Puri and they got to Puri just as Lord Chaitanya was going in the Lion Gate. You know, they washed his lotus feet and they were feasting their eyes on his beautiful form. Absolutely mesmerized. And he looked at them very kindly. And then they went in and they saw Lord Chaitanya and Jagannath, like moving Krishna, non-moving Krishna. And again, Lord Chaitanya looked at them very kindly. Later he called them and he told his associates that they will have a child, he will be the embodiment of my love. It was very profound. And he gave them blessings. He said, now you should go back straight away. How can we leave? How can we leave? Anyway, so he gave his blessings. Lord Chaitanya gave his blessings and they left. Went back to their village and the people there are going down about the chariot. He went mad. He lost all his... He thinks he's going to have a child? No way. But his wife Lakshmi Priya became pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful child. Golden, fulgent. He grew up so intelligent. He immediately understood all Shastra, everything. And his father used to relate Chaitanya pastimes to him. And cry. Describe how Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and he fell unconscious. And when he came back to consciousness, there's his son also lying unconscious and crying on the floor. So after some time, his father passed away. And then he had to go to Puri to get association with Lord Chaitanya. So he took permission from his mother. And on the way, he got the news that actually Lord Chaitanya's left. He was devastated. And then Lord Chaitanya came in a dream and told him, no, you should go on. So he went and he had association with Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was in such a state of separation now. Devastated, completely devastated after Lord Chaitanya disappeared. So he had his association. He was giving him some instruction from Bhagavatam. Imagine what it's like to hear Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit, that even Lord Chaitanya used to come to hear Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. After some time, Gadadhar Pandit told him to go, and when he came back, he'd also left. So then he made up his mind that he would go to Navadvip and he would associate with Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Shiva's Pandit. He got to Navadvip and they'd all left. But he got association with Vishnu Priya. Shachi Mata had left, but he got association with Vishnu Priya, and she gave him blessings. And then he made up his mind that I will go to
Double click the side thing. Oh, this one. Here. Just double click it.
You can't double.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. I think it's gonna fall.
we decided that I will go to Raj. And I'll get, at least I can get association with Rup, Sanatan, of the Goswami. On the way to Braj, just
We just did that.
Make sure the wire is not pulling. Yeah, otherwise it'll do that again.
on the way to Braj, he heard that Sanatan Goswami had left. And then just very shortly before he arrived in Braj, he heard that Rupa Goswami had also left. So again, he was devastated. He decided, I cannot maintain my life anymore. He decided to enter into fire. And then he dozed off during the night, and Rupa and Sanatan appeared to him and said, no. We've written so many books, and you will distribute them. So go on. So he went into Mathura, and then he went to Braj, and he arrived in Radha Govinda temple, big Radha Govinda temple, time of evening arti. So he was there during evening arti, and then at the end, everyone was left, and he was sitting in the corner just weeping and weeping. And someone came up to him and said, you are Srinivas? My name's Jiva. So Jeev and Jeev Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Mahaprabhu had appeared in a dream and told them, my very dear devotee is coming. So he should take initiation for Gopal Bhatt Goswami. So Gopal Bhatt, he'd already manifested Radharamanji from Shalagram Shila. So powerful devotion. So he accepted Srinivasacharya as his initiated disciple, offered him to Radharaman. And then Srinivas started studying under the direction of Sri Jeev Goswami. Brilliant student. And after some time he was hearing there's a wonderful devotee called Narottam. I want to meet Narottam. And then next day Narottam comes. So he and Narottam and Srinivas, they're studying both under Jeev Goswami. And then Jeev Goswami is thinking, I want them to go on Brajmanda Parikrama. At that time Raghava Pandit came. So Raghava Pandit is so special devotee, associate of Lord Chaitanya. There's Gopi in Krishna Lila. Amazing cook. So Raghava Pandit took Narottam and Srinivas on Parikrama in Braj, showing them all the different places. Then later on Shamananda came. So they were all studying, and when they'd, as it were, mastered the Shastra, so then Jeev Goswami said, so it's time to take the works of the Goswamis to Gauramanda. So they were deeply absorbed in Shastra. It's described how Srinivasacharya once, he was in so deep trance, totally absorbed in Radha Krishna Lila, in his spiritual form, Manjari form. So there's holy going on. And Radha and Krishna having holy, the whole air was full of powder, and Krishna was squirting the gopis with beautiful liquids, not like now. And And then finally that subsided, playing musical instruments. It was real festival. And then it subsided, and then in the spiritual form, Srinivasa's fanning Radha and Krishna after their exertion. So gradually he came out of his trance, and he was covered in transcendental holy powder. Amazingly aromatic, glistening powder. So powerful, powerful devotee. So the three of them left with, on an auspicious day, with all on an ox cart, all the books of Sri Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Kaviraj Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jeev Goswami, so many books. Incredible collection. There were bows and arrows, poisoned arrows. And they they almost got to Gautamanda. They came to a place called Vishnupur. So it's Hindu kingdom. They thought, okay, we're safe here. Previously, one of them would stay awake all night to guard the... And they thought, we're safe here, and they're all really tired. So they all took rest. And the king, Birhambir, he was actually a bandit dacoit king. So he had an astrologer who said, there's some people coming with a great treasure on a cart. So he told his servants, you go and loot the treasure, but don't kill anyone. So when they got there was a cart with all the shastras in the box. And the Goswamis, the Prabhu tried, they're asleep. So they took the box quietly, and they woke up. And the shastra's gone. Unimaginable treasure. Absolutely devastated. So Srinivasacharya, he took responsibility. He was the oldest of them. He sent Narottam to Manipur, and then Shamananda to Orissa. Then he himself stayed in Vishnupur. And he made inquiries. He heard probably the king's got the Shastra. He's the culprit, probably. So he went, and the king would hear Bhagavatam every day. And we can imagine that, Jeev Goswami has been studying under Srinivas has been studying under Jeev Goswami. He's had association of Raghunath Das Goswami. In Bhakti Ratnakara, so you receive unimaginable mercy from him. He's associated with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Gopal Bhatt Goswami.
Right.
So his rendition of Bhagavatam is incomparable.
And the Radha Pandit.
And so he, somehow or other, he said, I'd like to say something. So he began speaking Bhagavatam, and everyone was entranced, absolutely bewitched and bewildered. So then he got the books back, and when the king saw how he was relating to these shastras, he was overwhelmed. So he accepted Srinivasacharya as his spiritual master, he and his queen. So they went on. They had the first Gora Purnima. This is also an important function, because at that time there were so many, we can imagine, Lord Chaitanya, such an amazing personality. So many different people had so many different ideas about who he was, what his teachings were, what his mission is, what's the goal of Krishna consciousness, Chaitanya consciousness. So they brought all together. They went around inviting everyone to come. When they went to see Janava Ma, Nityananda's consort, so a voice from the sky said, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu and all their associates will personally come to this festival. Whoa! So everyone came. It was at Narottam's place. He'd given up. But his cousin, Santosh, very, very wealthy. So they made a huge, beautiful arrangement for all the devotees. Fantastic. They all celebrated Ekadashi together, and chanting, Kirtan, Harikatha. And then Gora Purnima, Narottam had found 6 deities in a snake-infested barn. So he brought the deities, and Janavama, she said, these are self-manifested deities, there's no need to install them, just give Abhishek. So Srinivasacharya is giving Abhishek, And Narottam Thakur began kirtan. So his kirtan was utterly magical. And as he was performing kirtan, and everyone's in praying, completely forgetting themselves. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, they all appeared. And they're dancing and chanting with the devotees. So powerful devotees. Amazing. Incredible, powerful. So, I won't take too much time, but there's one, he had one disciple, Srinivasacharya had one disciple, Kaviraj, Ramchandra Kaviraj. Somehow or other, Ramchandra Kaviraj, he was just going to get married, so there's wedding procession. And somehow they ended up very close together. Either it was raining or they need to get some drink or something. I don't know the situation. Anyway, Srinivas said to his disciple, just look at him. He thinks he's got a beautiful garland. He doesn't know this woman's like a black snake. And Ramchandra Kaviraj, excuse me, what did you say? And Srinivasacharya started explaining to him that, you know, the real goal of life, I mean, this is extreme. I'm not... I'm just relating what happened. He started explaining, you know, that the real goal of life is Krishna prem, and household life is such an obstruction. Of course, it's not always obstruction, but it can be. Well, there was some discussion with Prabhupada. Some householders, someone saying, Prabhupada, they're saying the householders, they shouldn't live outside. Prabhupada said, oh? He said, yes, probably, because they say that they won't follow the regulated principles and they go to hell. And Prabhupada said, yes, usually. But like I said yesterday, that Grihastha ashram is actually the foundation of society. And it should be the foundation of, I mean, like, provide, in so many ways, a foundation for us someday. So Ramchandra Kaviraj, he sent the girl away. He said, I'm not getting married. I'm going to stay with my spiritual master. Extreme. But later on, Srinivasacharya, he went into very, very deep samadhi. And for a long time, his disciples became very concerned. They think, oh, if only Ramchandra Kaviraj, he would have the solution. And Ramchandra Kaviraj came. They explained the situation. Srinivas was lying on the ground. His body was there. Ramchandra Kaviraj said, I'm just going to lie down beside my Guru Maharaj. You put a cloth over us. Nobody should disturb us. So then in his samadhi, he went searching for his Guru Maharaj. Everywhere. And finally, he came to Braj. And there was difficulty in Braj. Srimati Radhika was bathing and she'd lost her nose ring. And they were all searching for the nose ring. And that was what was, he was searching, Srinivasacharya in his spiritual form, she was also searching. So Ramchandra Kaviraj in his spiritual form, he found the nose ring, gave it to Srinivasacharya's Manjari form, and gave it to Radha, and then they came back again. So, amazing, amazing devotees. Srinivasacharya, he's given Sad Goswami Ashtakam. It's like very vivid description of the moods and teachings, basic teachings of the essence of the teachings of the six Goswamis. And he's also given kirtan, what's it called, Manohari style. Narottam used to sing and teach. Just like we had the first time you were there, you know, singing and teaching and talking like that. And Srinivas, he was more like giving Harikirtan and singing also, but he had his own style of kirtan. And like I say, he's Prabhu Troy. All the associates of Lord Chaitanya were waiting to empower them, to pass on the baton, and then they left. Just like when the three of them went to see, to get darshan at Lord Chaitanya's place. So Vishnupriya had left already, Shachimata had left. Only Ishan Thakur was there. Old servant. He'd been there. He'd seen everything. And he was very, very affectionate to them. And when they left, he couldn't speak. But by signs, he gave them to understand that they wouldn't see him again. And then they left. And after a little while, somebody came hurrying behind them. Oh, Ishan Thakur's left. Bhakti Ratnakar is such a book. These associates are just leaving one after another, one after another, one after another. But at the same time, this new generation of preachers are coming up. So we're in a critical stage here now also. So many, Prabhupada disciples, devotees have actually been with Srila Prabhupada, received his, moods, teachings, chastisement, been in that beachhead situation, leaving. One after the other, leaving. And we need to continue, there's a mission. Just like Srinivas Narottam and Shamananda Prabhu, they continued the mission of our acharyas. So we need to continue this mission. Both Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Thakur, Shamananda, they're examples. Incredibly intense bhajan and at the same time, powerful, powerful preaching. Great service. Shri Srinivas Prabhu ki jai.
No, stay with you. Just go.
Isn't she going right now? Maharaj was mentioning how Srinivas Acharya, he was senior to Narottam and Shyamananda. So he instructed Shyamananda Prabhu to go to Orissa. And he instructed Narottam Das Thakur to go to Manipur and Bangladesh, which is, I guess, Bangladesh now, but that time it was part of Bengal.
East Bengal.
And he stayed there, west of Bengal, in that Vanavishnupur area. And each of them were such powerful preachers. Already we heard that Srinivas Acharya converted that dacoit king, but he was a king. He became the disciple of Srinivas Acharya, and actually he asked him, how can I serve you? And Srinivas Acharya told him that, Maharaj told it, our books were taken. Do you know where they are? He's like, we took them, and he returned them to him. But he converted that entire area into Vaishnavas and devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Narottam Das Thakur's preaching was so powerful, he converted the king of Manipur into a Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee of Mahaprabhu. And to this day, all of those Vaishnavas, the people of Manipur, they wear Gaudiya Vaishnava tilak, they know the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur, and the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also Bangladesh, which has now been taken over, but at that time it was all full of Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And then Shyamananda Prabhu, he went to Orissa and he did the same thing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of persons became devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And so they were no ordinary persons, extremely powerful preachers. As Maharaj was speaking, I was remembering the words, what Srila Bhakti Vigyam Bharati Maharaj would always share before speaking about Vaishnavas. Because today really is a day of glorifying Vaishnavas. And it is so essential for us. It is the most essential thing. Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tiner Smaran, he would always quote this verse, Tiner Smaran Hoy Sarva Vidya Vinashan. To remember Guru, Vaishnava, and Bhagavan. To remember these three. Then all auspiciousness will come into the heart and all ignorance will be destroyed. Simply by remembering the Vaishnavas and their qualities, this will begin to awaken a mood of desire to serve Krishna within our hearts. So it is so essential to hear about their character, their qualities. And if on their day we neglect them, it is considered aparad. So Srila Bhakti-Vigyam Bharati Maharaj, she would say, at least say their name and ki jai. Shri Srinivas Acharya ki jai. So now,
he would days before the festivals glorify the Vaishnavas. He's really days before he was looking forward to it.
Really?
Maharaj told me.
Wow. He's so powerful. More powerful than glorifying Krishna himself is to glorify his devotees. And Krishna appreciates that even more. So now we're going to call out for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Shachinandan Gaurahari. In the words of Narottam Das Thakur, who was also remembering his dear Srinivas Acharya and Ramachandra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koramore, page 96. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna
got this.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So as we were just speaking previously, these days of the Vaishnavas are so important. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada explained that the purpose of the kirtan that we do is to attract people to hear the Harikatha. We should not think that Harikatha is different from kirtan. Our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj said, who is the most powerful kirtaniya? Who?
Shri Sukadev Goswami.
Sri Shukadev Goswami. He spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is still resounding everywhere to this day. And then he said, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They are the most powerful kirtaniyas.
Right.
And they're not only doing kirtan through the medium of singing the names of Krishna, but also through speaking about the forms, qualities, pastimes, characteristics of Krishna and his devotees. So as we mentioned before, remembering the pastimes of the devotees of Krishna, this will increase within us a mood like they have in their hearts for devotion to Krishna. Krishna himself doesn't have that kind of devotion for himself. But if you want devotion for Krishna, then it is imperative, if we want devotion for Krishna, then it is imperative that we glorify and associate with those who have devotion for Krishna. Our Srila Gurudev would always say, only someone who has something can give that thing to you. So if you want devotion for Krishna, that is necessarily a function of associating with those who have devotion for Krishna. By their devotion in our hearts will be awakened. Pramanda Brahmite Kon Bhagya Manajeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Many people think that Bij means that Guru has given us a seed like a mustard seed. But all of our Guru Varga have explained what is that Bij. It is their Hari Katha. It is their glorification of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas by which a change manifests within our heart. And what is that change? It takes us from practically a state of dull matter, meaning ignorance, to an awareness of who I am, who is my eternal beloved Lord, and an inclination and desire to serve Krishna begins to awaken within the heart, glorifying and associating with the pure devotees of Krishna. One such amazing pure devotee that we are going to speak about now, his name is Sri Madhavendra Puripad. Sri Madhavendra Puripad ki jai. Ever since I was little, I always loved the history of Sri Madhavendra Puripad. When I grew up a little bit, I'm still working on it, I saw in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying Sri Madhavendra Puripad with so much excitement and delight. Who is Madhavendra Puripad in relation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Does anyone know?
Grandfather.
Param Gurudev. So as you would see Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada glorifying his Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Srila Gaurkishore Das Babiji Maharaj, or as you would see our Gurudev glorifying his Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. In a similar way, you see how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so excited to glorify his Param Gurudev, Sri Madhavendra Puripad. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going toward Jagannath Puri, or South India, he had 4 associates. 3 of them, I remember their names, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda Datta, and Damodar Pandit. I can't remember the 4th one. But they ended up stopping in a place called Remuna. And in that place of Remuna, there is a temple of Gopinath, who is world-renowned as Kir Chor Gopinath. Upon entering that temple, they were dancing and doing kirtan like madmen, and then they began to glorify the history of Sri Madhavendra Puri. In fact, it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was glorifying his own Param Gurudev. So he was telling to the devotees, Sri Nityananda Prabhu Mukunda Dutt, his eternal associates. The history of Sri Madhavendra Puripad and why this Gopinath became known as Kir Chor Gopinath, or the Gopinath who steals Kir. Right? Does anyone know what Kir is?
Sweet rice.
Generally, it's sweet rice. But this is a very special kind of Kir. So we're going to go from there through the history that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told of his own Grand Guru. So he was telling how Madhavendra Puripad, he came from the line of Madhvacharya. I'm just going to give a little history. He came from the line of Madhvacharya. There are 4 authorized bona fide sampradayas, and one is coming through Lord Brahma, and the Acharya of that line is Madhvacharya. And Madhavendra Puripad received his initiation in that lineage. Madhvacharya worships Darimantan Krishna, Braj Krishna, who's holding the churning rod for churning butter. And so coming in that line, Madhavendra Puripad made his manifestation. It is said in the Shastra that before the Lord makes his appearance, so many other personalities appear before him to prepare, like his parents. Advaita Acharya, Madhavendra Puri, Sri Navadip Dham appears before the Lord appears. There's so many appeared in advance. And so Madhavendra Puripad made himself manifest through that lineage. And then he made his way toward Vrindavan. Upon entering Vrindavan, Madhavendra Puripad went to Sri Govardhan, and there he was absorbed in transcendental ecstasy, weeping, crying, and calling out the names of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he did Govardhan Parikrama, and then afterward he sat down to rest at Sri Govinda Kund. Has anyone been to Govinda Kund? Yes, very powerful and special place. I'm not going to tell the full history, but that's the place where Indra was forgiven by Krishna for the greatest aparad ever. So also that is the place where Krishna was given that title, that name, Govinda, by Indra himself. He referred to him as Govinda. So Madhavendra Puripad sat down in that place. He had taken a vow as a sannyasi that I will never beg anything from anyone. He never asked anyone for any food or anything. He would always chant the holy names of the Lord, and Krishna would maintain him, naturally. So he never asked anyone for anything. Do you know the name of that vow? Acharya, something. I can't remember. Yes.
What was that?
There you go. So it's a very, very intense vow that I will never beg anyone for anything. Whatever comes to me, naturally, I will accept. And so he was only sitting there chanting. After quite some time, one young cowherd boy came. And he said, "Who are you? What are you doing here? What are you meditating on?" And when Madhavendra Puri opened his eyes, he saw this very charming, handsome young lad. And immediately he felt completely satiated. He had no hunger, no thirst or anything. And it was quite interesting for him. Wow, who is this young boy? And this young boy said, "I have brought something for you. I have brought you some milk." Because, and Madhavendra Puri said, "Who told you?" And he said, "Oh, the ladies who were going to the well, they saw that you were just sitting there. You haven't eaten anything all day, so they gave me this cup of milk to give to you." He said, "I'm busy right now. I have to go tend to the cows. It's milking time. I'll come back later for the cup." So he gives Madhavendra Puri the cup. Madhavendra Puri was looking at this boy. Who is this boy? And he was quite interested that he had this change of consciousness, because he's not distracted or attracted by anything in this world. But this boy was so charming, so sweet. His mind was going there. So he took this milk, and immediately he felt transcendental ecstasy. He didn't know why or what, but he was feeling so much ecstasy. And then he washed that cup and kept it for later. And after some time, he laid down to take some rest. In his rest, he had a vision, a dream. But the dream of the pure devotee is not the same as the dream of anyone else. Our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, in our dreams, they are based on what we see or hear in our waking hours. So we might see a mountain, and we might see gold. And then in our dreams, we will see a golden mountain, which is just illusion. But because the pure devotees of the Lord are not subject to the 4 defects of the conditioned souls, in other words, they are not subject to illusion, their dreams are actually direct communication with the Lord. They are reality. So, in that vision, in that dream, that very same sweet boy came to him and said, actually, my name is Gopal, and I am the proprietor of this village. He said, many, many years ago, the great grandson of Krishna, Vajranab, came and established my deity form here at Govardhan. But due to so many repeated attacks of the Muslims, the pujari who was taking care of my deity form had hid me in the bushes in one thicket. And then he ran for his own life. And so he took this Madhavendra Puri by the hand and brought him to that particular place. He said, I am buried here under this bush. You should excavate me, and then you should establish me on top of Govardhan Hill. He said, I've been so hungry, I've been so hot, I've been so thirsty, and I was waiting. When, oh when will my devotee Madhavendra Puri come and serve me? So Madhavendra Puri woke up from that vision, from that dream, so excited. And he knew, First, Mahaprabhu said that Madhavendra Puripad was a little bit upset. How could I not recognize my own Lord, Gopal? He had come to me, but I didn't recognize him. So for us, we should understand that if the Supreme Lord can even hide himself from his pure devotees, then how can those who are not fully devoted expect to just have his direct darshan? Madhavendra Puri was feeling somewhat sad in his heart, but he was also given seva from the Lord. So he collected himself and immediately engaged so many. And we should go and excavate. I had this vision, this darshan. So many came with machetes and shovels and axes and everything because they had to clear a path. It was dense thicket and bushes. And they had to go to that particular place where he was shown in his vision. And as they were digging and excavating, they found the most beautiful, large, and heavy deity of Giridhari Gopal. Giridhari is the lifter of Govardhan Hill. Has anyone seen that Giridhari? He now resides in Nathdwar, in, what is this, Udaipur? Jodhpur, Udaipur. And is worshipped by those in the line of Vallabhacharya. Now they've made a beautiful, you could say, replica at Puchari Kalota near Surabikund. Beautiful, large deity of Giridhari Gopal, very similar. And they, just next to Raghav Pandit's cave,
We went there.
where you roll on the ground there. Yeah,
That's a replica of...
Yeah, it's where you
he's
roll.
big. And they do Maha Abhishek for him every day. It's quite impressive. So Madhavendra Puripad engaged the very strongest of the men to lift this deity who was very, very heavy, and to bring him to the top of Govardhan Hill, as he instructed, that you should bring me there, you should establish me there, you should make a temple there, and establish very lavish worship. So Madhavendra Puripad was very excited. He had Gopal brought to the top of the mountain, Govardhan, and then a very massive Maha Abhishek, bathing of this Giridhari Gopal, took place. Thousands and thousands of pots of water, perfumed water, so much bathing and oils and everything to cool his body. Because he said, I've been here for so long, no bathing, no food, nothing. So immediately so many persons brought so much food, and it is said that the mountaintop of Govardhan was completely covered. Like at the time of Anukut Mahamahotsava, when Krishna engaged all the Brajabasis in serving Giriraj Govardhan. So Madhavendra Puripad made a massive festival. And then news began to spread rapidly from one to the next village. And so over time, every village wanted their opportunity, their chance to serve this Giridhari Gopal. And so for at least 2 years straight, thousands and thousands of preparations, everyone was hearing about this Gopal. In fact, very wealthy persons from Mathura were also giving big donations. Every different family donated one cow. So he had thousands of cows in his, how do you say, his own Goshala, this Giridhari Gopal. And very wealthy Kshatriyas paid for this beautiful, lavish temple to be built eventually. So Madhavendra Puripad was serving him and engaged so many in serving this Giridhari Gopal for so long. But he himself, although there was so much Mahaprasad, so much was offered to Gopal and there was so much Mahaprasad, he did not partake in enjoying all of that. He would simply take a little glass of milk or anything in the evening. He was very renounced, but dedicated to service of the Lord. After that time, 2 devotees had come from Bengal and he initiated them. And then he engaged them in the permanent service of his Thakur, Giridhari Gopal. Again, Gopal came to him in a dream. And he said, I'm still feeling very hot. So I want you to do something for me. At that time, Madhavendra Puripad was quite elderly. But Krishna is requesting him to do something, so he must do it. What was that? I want you to go to the Malaya province and get me some Malaya chandan. That means sandalwood and camphor, so that you can make sandalwood paste and cover my body, and by that I will be cool. So the Lord likes to engage his devotee in service because the devotee wants to also be engaged in service. So Madhavendra Puripad took leave of all of the devotees and set off toward Orissa to collect this chandan. As he was going toward Orissa, he stopped in Shantipur at the house of Advaita Acharya. And there, Advaita Acharya, seeing the ecstasy of Madhavendra Puripad, desired to receive initiation from him. So Advaita Acharya, our Advaita Acharya, then received initiation from Sri Madhavendra Puripad. So did you know he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri? Who else is a disciple of Madhavendra Puripad? Sri Ishwar Puripad, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So many of our greatest personalities, they received initiation from Madhavendra Puripad. And Ishwar Puripad is the guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how great is Madhavendra Puripad?
And he's Shiksha Guru of Nityananda Prabhu.
Yes. Actually, when Nityananda Prabhu was traveling with his guru, Lakshmi Pati Tirtha, after some time, Lakshmi Pati Tirtha left this world. Nityananda Prabhu was very young at the time. But he was introduced to Sri Madhavendra Puripad. Upon their meeting, they began weeping in ecstasy. And Madhavendra Puripad said that this day is the success of my life to meet with you. They were embracing each other. Nitya was considerably younger than him, but still he was glorifying Nityananda Prabhu. Anyone who does not accept Nityananda Prabhu will never be able to move forward on the path of bhakti. And Nityananda Prabhu was glorifying Madhavendra Puripad. Although Madhavendra Puri saw Nityananda Prabhu like his Chota God brother, Nityananda Prabhu always saw Madhavendra Puripad as his guru. He accepted him as his Shiksha Guru. So the guru of Akhanda Guru Tattva of Nityananda Prabhu is Madhavendra Puripad. And so Srila Gurudev explained many times that one may have received initiation, but they might not have received much time with their guru. And if they then subsequently take shelter of any Shiksha Guru, and that Shiksha Guru becomes prominent in their life, then that will be their primary guru. It's natural. So Nityananda Prabhu took shelter of Sri Madhavendra Puripad at that time. So coming back to Madhavendra Puripad, he went to the house of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya received initiation from him, and then he went on toward Puri. On the way, he stopped in the same temple where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling this katha from, the temple of Gopinath in Remuna. And there, falling before the deity, he was dancing, chanting, falling on the ground, rolling, and weeping in ecstasy in front of this Gopinath. It so happened that this Gopinath was famous for something. World famous for this special kheer called Amrita Keli. And so Madhavendra Puripad, he always wanted to increase the quality of his service to his Thakurji, Giridhari Gopal. This is the nature of a real servant. They always want to improve, refine, and increase the quality of their service. It's not good enough to just keep doing it the same. They're always endeavoring to improve. So he desired, I've heard about this special kheer. This is world famous. If only I could taste a little bit, then I would know the ingredients inside, and then I may be able to make the same thing for my Giridhari. But immediately upon feeling that way and thinking that, he thought, oh God, I'm desiring to taste this kheer. What am I doing? And so he offered his pranam, and after some time he left that place and he went to an abandoned marketplace. And there he was only remembering the names of Krishna. After some time, the pujari, he received a dream from that Gopinath. That Gopinath said, wake up! I have kept something for my devotee Madhavendra Puri. By my own mystic potency, Yoga Maya, I have hidden one of the pots of kheer. There were 12 pots, and somehow the pujari thought he cleaned everything, but he only removed 11. There was a 12th one hidden behind the skirt of this Gopinath. He said, I have kept it for him. You should go and give it to him immediately. The pujari immediately woke up, went, washed his hands, went onto the altar and saw, oh, there's a pot of kheer here. He took that pot of kheer, he cleaned that place, and immediately went out into the marketplace. Will he whose name is Madhavendra Puri make yourself known? I have the most amazing thing for you. You are the most fortunate person in the entire universe. Again, he was saying it, calling out in this empty market, but he couldn't see which stall or where Madhavendra Puri was. Madhavendra Puri, after some time, came out and he said, I am Madhavendra Puri. He said, you are the most fortunate person in the whole universe. Gopinath himself has stolen this kheer for you. So Madhavendra Puripad, of course, being humble, was thinking, oh, what have I done? I desired this thing. Now he's done this. But anyhow, he has stolen kheer for me. He became so excited. So he received that. That pujari offered Dandavat Pranam at his feet. Madhavendra Puripad took that kheer and was experiencing ecstasy at every bite. This nectarian kheer stolen by Gopinath directly for his devotee Madhavendra Puri. What kind of love must Madhavendra Puripad have for Krishna, that Krishna himself is stealing and arranging for him to get something. Now I'm going to cut away to a very similar Leela very quickly. Something happened in Vrindavan. One Kartik, the pujari at Sevakunj had a similar dream. Srimati Radhika said, do you know my devotee Narayan Maharaj? You should bring my kheer to him immediately. The pujari got up, got that kheer, brought it there, and he said, I need to see Narayan Maharaj. And they said, he's busy, he can't see anyone. No, I have to see him now. This is important. And they're like, he's busy. No, I won't leave until I see him personally. So then he went in and he revealed what he had seen and why he brought this kheer. Immediately, what did our Gurudev do?
He offered pranam.
He offered full pranam to that kheer. And then he received it. And that evening he told all of us.
Yeah, he came down. He was so excited. He told everyone what happened.
So I just wanted to relate that pastime with the other pastime. Now, back to Madhavendra Puripad.
I don't think this has to be planned for whether or not.
Yes, of course. So Madhavendra Puripad, then he was worried. Why was he worried? Vaishnavas always want to run away from pratishtha. They don't want anyone to glorify them. They don't want to be the center of attention unless they are in a stage of direct seva as ordained by the Lord. In this case, Madhavendra Puripad knew, oh, if people start hearing about the fact that the Lord himself stole kheer for me, then everyone is going to come and start glorifying me. I don't want any part of it. Most of us would be like, psst, did you hear what happened? Right? But Madhavendra Puripad immediately ran away from that place and he ran directly to Jagannath Puri. There at Jagannath Puri, he thought he had escaped the glorification, but the pure devotees of the Lord, they cannot escape glorification. The glories of the pure devotees go along with them, and the Lord always makes a plan how to increase the glories of his devotees. So when Madhavendra Puripad arrived in Jagannath Puri, already everyone was glorifying him. Everyone heard of the story, but he had to tolerate it. Imagine having to tolerate being glorified by everyone. It was difficult, but because he had not completed his seva, he had to endure the glorifications of everyone. So he went to the temple of Jagannath, and there also he was offering pranam and experiencing ecstasy. And then he told the Pandits there of his vision, the dream which Gopinath had given him. Immediately everyone started making arrangements for him. And within a very short time, they arranged so much chandan, means sandalwood, and camphor, which you grind and mix together with water, for applying to the body of Giridhari Gopal. So, at that time, of course, the country, India, was ruled by so many different Muslim kings. And it was very difficult to move from one province to the next, especially with items that had massive tariffs on them, like sandalwood and camphor. Really, it was. It's written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Tariffs. How apropos. They were restricted items. You weren't supposed to bring them over the borders. And it was also a very valuable item. So they arranged for one Brahmin servant and one other person, a servant, to carry this heavy load. And then they arranged all of the paperwork for Madhavendra Puripad so that he didn't have to pay. I mean, the kings gave him everything. It was handed to him. And then he was able to make his way back. On his way back, he stopped again at the temple of Gopinath in Remuna. And again, seeing Gopinath, he experienced transcendental ecstasy, dancing and chanting, rolling on the ground. Then they offered him the prasad of Gopinath. He received that kheer. And then he took some rest. He was planning to go back to Vrindavan, but his Giridhari Gopal came to him in a dream. This is the third time. And told him that I have already received everything. But you should stay there in Remuna for as long as it takes to grind all of that chandan and apply it to the body of Gopinath. If you apply it on the body of Gopinath, by that, I will be cooled. We are not different. So Madhavendra Puripad remained in that place. His Brahmin servant and the other one and two of the priests who were present, they were grinding this chandan every day for Gopinath. And after some time, that chandan was completely ground. It took some time, almost a year, from what I remember, some months. And then came Chaturmas. When Chaturmasya came, then Madhavendra Puripad went back to Jagannath Puri to remain there during the 4 months of Chaturmasya. Now Madhavendra Puripad, it is said by all of our Guru Varga that he is the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there it is said, Prema Kalpataru. So it is sometimes said that he is a Kalpataru tree or a transcendental tree. Also, it is said that he is a special maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So both of these can be possible because this is the nature of transcendence. One can have multiple forms in service to the Lord. As we see with Baladev Prabhu himself, he's serving in every ras. He's serving as a cowherd boy. He's serving as Baladev Prabhu. So he's serving like almost an older brother parent, and no, not almost, as an older brother parent to Krishna. He's serving also as an Angamanjari. He's serving in so many different ways. So Madhavendra Puripad is also a special maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And he is the first person in the line of Madhvacharya to manifest something different from Vatsalya Ras. The line of Madhvacharya, they're worshipping Dadi Manthan Krishna, the Krishna who's the son of Mother Yashoda, holding on to that churning rod which is used for churning butter in the house of Yashoda, quite young. In Udupi, if you've ever been there, they're worshipping that deity of Krishna. But until that Madhavendra Puri manifested in that line, no one had any idea or contemplated the ideas of Madhurya Ras. But Madhavendra Puripad was manifesting the moods of Madhurya Ras, meditating on the moods of separation that Srimati Radhika had for Krishna. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his appearance just after the time of Madhavendra Puripad, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna wanting to taste especially this mood of Madhuryata, Srimati Radhika's moods of love and affection toward Krishna. So from Madhavendra Puripad, his disciple is Ishwar Puripad. He is said to be the first sprout. And then from him came Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is said to be the tree of Krishna Prem. And from him so many branches are there, so many leaves. So Sri Madhavendra Puripad, manifested in his life such amazing and beautiful sweetness. I wanted to just read 2 of his verses. The way he would pray is just beautiful and so powerful. Here. So there's one verse that he would say, I'm only going to chant the first line because it's very long. Sandhya bandana bhadramastu bhavato bhosnana tubhyam namo. There he's saying, he's actually praying to his prayers that he chants 3 times a day. Oh, my prayers that I chant 3 times a day. Oh, glory unto you. Oh, bathing that I do. Right? We bathe in holy places. Oh, bathing that I do. I offer my obeisance unto you. Oh, demigods. Oh, forefathers. Please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa. And thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. This is the definition of Shraddha. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Simply by engaging in the service to Krishna, automatically every other obligation is taken care of. There's nothing else to do. Nothing else to worry about. This is the definition of Shraddha. Then Madhavendra Puripad, he tells, Mugda ma nigadantu neti nipuno. The Sanskrit's been messed up by this ad here. Not the ad, but the font is not there. Let the sharp moralist accuse me of being illusioned. I do not mind. Experts in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Mammonites may point me out as mad. And the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, though I be unable to do it. So here he is showing complete, firm conviction, unshakable, unbreakable nishtha, that no matter what, let everyone criticize me, but I cannot move from my service to Govinda, or even the desire to serve him. Maybe I can't even do it, but I will not swerve even 1 millimeter from that desire to serve Krishna. Let everyone criticize me, no harm. Our Gurudev used to say that. Let the whole world, even if the whole world is against me, no harm. As long as I'm holding on to the lotus feet of my Gurudev, it's all okay. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, even if all of the ignorant persons in all of the universes, unlimited universes, combine in one voice, shout at me the untruth, I will stand alone in the face of all of them and loudly and boldly proclaim the truth. I mean, we might be able to tolerate 10 or 20 or 30, but if 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 are like, we might cave. But these personalities, no. Nothing can shake them, nothing can break them. So, very important pastime, Madhavendra Puripad, near the end of his manifest pastimes in this world, he was always remembering the moods of separation that Sri Radha has for Krishna. And at that time, he had some primary disciples. One was Sri Ishwar Puripad. Ishwar Puripad was so humble, so submissive, so dedicated to his Gurudev. He was cleaning up his urine and his stool. He was looking after him. He was always sharing Harikatha and Hari Kirtan with him. And in a very submissive mood, always encouraging his Gurudev in the mood that his Gurudev wanted to taste. This is important. He wasn't disturbing that. Oh, his Gurudev wanted to experience any mood. He would always help to increase that experience. One other disciple, his name was Ramachandra Puri. He had come there, and he saw Madhavendra Puripad about ready to leave this world. And he said, what are you doing, crying and weeping and chanting these names of Krishna in a mood of separation? You're doing the wrong thing. You should be meditating on Brahman, means the divine nothingness. Why are you thinking about all of these things? Madhavendra Puripad became disgusted. Get out of here. If I die seeing you, I'll have to go to hell. How dare you come and disturb this mood that I'm remembering, this desire to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So Madhavendra Puripad banished this Ramachandra Puri. And what happens when you offend your guru? This is the first aparad, blaspheme a devotee, and the third aparad also, to Harinam, disobey the orders of the spiritual master, immediately his heart filled with all kinds of material desires, and he left that place. But Madhavendra Puripad was so satisfied with Sri Ishwar Puripad that he said, what can I give you? All I can do is pray to Krishna to be merciful upon you. And so because of that, Ishwar Puripad received the full benefit of all of the association of Madhavendra Puripad, and full prem manifested in his heart. And that is the person that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took shelter of as his Gurudev, Sri Ishwar Puripad. So Madhavendra Puripad was always weeping and crying, calling out this mood of Srimati Radhika, Ayi Dina Daya Dranata Hek Maturanata Kadava Lokshase, crying and praying, oh, how can I receive your darshan? How can I receive your darshan in deep separation? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that Sri Madhavendra Puripad showed the ideal character for those who are coming in this line, how we will also be able to attain that perfection. Not by pretending that I'm witnessing. Srila Prabhupada said, our Goswamis never said, I have seen, I have seen. Rather, they are always weeping. He Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite He Nanda Sunokuta Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Vanyekuta. Oh Radhika, where are you? Where are you, Lalita? Where are you, Krishna? Are you there at Govardhan? Are you there on the banks of the Jamuna? Weeping and crying in Mahavivalo. Great separation. They were always crying like this. So Madhavendra Puripad manifested this. He's the first person to manifest this kind of mood. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came after him and also was expressing this kind of mood. And so if we want to develop that kind of prem that they have, which they have also come to awaken in our hearts, then we must take shelter of them and also the process which they undertook to attain that perfection, which is to weep in separation, calling out the names of Krishna, being under the guidance of the pure devotees. So on this day, I'm praying at the lotus feet of Sri Madhavendra Puripad to please be merciful to us all, that we might be able to catch even 1/1,000,000th of a particle of his desperate, loving, devotional sentiments unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Sri Madhavendra Puripad ki jai.
One thing wonderful, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is with Nityananda Prabhu, and he is glorifying Madhavendra Puripad. Nityananda Prabhu had met Madhavendra Puripad, rolled on the ground, unconscious, and embraced with him. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified. And that verse, Aidina Dayadanata He, Maturanata Kadava Lokashe, only 3 personalities could understand that verse. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Madhavendra Puripad, and Srimati Radhika herself. So it's very, very, very deep personality. Amazing personality.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I just want to share something about Parameshwari Thakur.
Yes.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that one who remembers the name of Parameshwari Das will get Krishna praying very easily. So I've always liked a shortcut.
Shri Parameshwari Thakur ki jai.
Thank you.
Shortcuts ki jai. What time is it?
Shashini?
I'm just wondering if they know that it's going till 10, so we don't need to start the show till 9.
It's going to 10.
I don't know if you knew it was going till 10 tonight, so we don't need to start the show till 9.
You mean it can go to 10? It doesn't have to.
It can do. It can.
Another hour and 15 minutes.
Yes. At least half an hour for prasadam, half an hour for cleanup. So then that means 9 o'clock, right? Up to 9:50. It's okay. There's time for Hare Krishna and some Radharaman glorification as well. It's absolutely essential. Jai Jai Radharamano Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radharamano Hari Bol. Radha Also, I don't have a mic. I'll lose my voice if I keep going too much.
They wanted to stretch their legs anyway.
I know. Is everyone okay to hear some more?
Sure, yes.
เป็นแบบร้านธนมัน
Was.
Yes. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So we've heard that hearing the glories of the Vaishnavas will have a particular effect on our hearts. Srila Gurudev said that just by calling out the names of the Vaishnavas, their qualities can enter our hearts. That's why it is so important, like calling out. We might not know who any personality is, but to call out their name is so powerful. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, in different places you'll find that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is actually just naming all of the devotees of the Lord. And it seems like maybe you want to bypass it and get back to the Leela. It's like, what are all these names? Let me get to the story here. But Srila Gurudev said it is so powerful. And he said it's because of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that we really have so much knowledge of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to glorify the Vaishnavas is so powerful. We heard yesterday how yesterday was actually the appearance of Sri Prahlad Maharaj.
Haribo. Jai.
Because Lord Narasimhadev, he arrived at the end of it, right? He arrived, he did his thing, but everything leading up was all about Prahlad and the glories of his devotee. And why did he appear? For his own devotee. So it's extraordinary that we have all of this wealth of the knowledge of our Vaishnav Acharyas. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami was born into a very illustrious family in the Sri Sampradaya. Ramanuja. Sri Sampradaya, yes. Same. His father, Venkat Bhatta Goswami, Venkat Bhatta, he was actually one of the main pujaris in charge of Rangaji Mandir, Sri Rangam. It was one of the most, Srila Bhakti Balav Tirtha Goswami Maharaj says, it was the most astonishing and brilliant temple in all of India. He said it was so extraordinary, and it was the highest temple at the time. So Gopal was about 7 years old. And it so happened that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his way, actually searching for Ramananda Roy. He was going and he was searching for his devotees everywhere. On his way traveling, he stopped in this Sri Rangam. It's explained that when he entered into that mandir, so much incense was billowing out, and the Brahmins were chanting so many Vedic mantras. Hundreds of people were there continuously going for darshan of Sri Rangaji. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the temple and he began chanting and dancing in ecstasy. He was weeping tears of love. And everyone stopped chanting. Everyone just turned and they looked at this beautiful, golden, effulgent Lord. He was almost 7 feet tall. His arms were in the air, and he was chanting the names of Krishna. Everyone started to gather around him, leaving Sri Rangaji. They started looking, who is this personality? And as Mahaprabhu was calling out the names of his beloved Lord, he fell down, and it's explained like a tree falled by the wind. Just down he went. Everyone began to crowd around him. It was at that time that Venkat Bhatta, the father of Gopal, ran in front of everyone and pushed them back. Get away, stand back. Immediately he had such deep attachment for Mahaprabhu. He helped him get up and he said, "Oh Prabhu, I don't know who you are. I don't know what kind of a personality you are, but my heart is deeply attracted to you. I beg you, please come to my home and have lunch. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled. He was looking for these Vaishnavas. He said, yes, I'm happy to come to your home. Immediately Venkat Bhatta took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house, and he offered him all kinds of beautiful foodstuffs. And then one thing, actually, it said everywhere, that immediately upon bringing him to their house, they began to do the foot bathing of Mahaprabhu. And everyone began to drink that foot water. Even little Gopal, who was 7-8 years old, it is said when he drank that foot water, he began to weep in ecstasy and he fainted. And from that moment, he was completely dedicated to Mahaprabhu. Venkat Bhatta, he was quite tricky. When he brought Mahaprabhu home, he knew that it was the first day of Chaturmasya. So he said, oh, Mahaprabhu, you know today is the first day of Chaturmasya, and it's not good that a sannyasi should be traveling. We know that they must stay in one place for these 4 months. So please, we're requesting you stay in our home. Mahaprabhu laughed and he said, absolutely, I will stay.
Jai.
Venkat Bhatta, he put his young son Gopal in charge of everything that Mahaprabhu needed. When Mahaprabhu would go for bathing, young Gopal would carry his lota. He would carry a towel for him. Anything he could do, he would try to serve Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell him all kinds of Hari Katha. After some time, Mahaprabhu began to see something. Srila Bhakti Balav Tirtha Maharaj said that within the heart of Venkat Bhatta, because he's worshipping in a mood of awe and reverence, he worships Lakshmi Narayan. He was thinking, my Lakshmi Narayan are the source of everything. And this wonderful sannyasi who is like the Lord himself, but he worships Krishna, who is like a manifestation of my Narayan. He's just a little coward boy. But my Narayan, he had some pride in his heart. So one day, in a mood of sweet banter, Mahaprabhu looked at Venkat Bhatta, and there were others who were there. Gopal was there. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur was there. He's the brother of Venkat Bhatta. It means he is the uncle of Gopal. He was there. Others were there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to have some sweet banter. He said, oh, Venkat, you know, Lakshmi Devi is considered to be the most chaste personality. Oh, Venkat, but yes, she is the most chaste, the wife of Lord Narayan. Yes. He said, but I'm wondering something. Why is it that Lakshmi Devi, who is so chaste and the wife of Lord Narayan, went to Belvan and began to do austerities to enter into the Ras Leela of Radha and Krishna? Venkat Bhatta said, oh, this isn't a problem. Don't you know that Krishna is non-different from Narayan? So it's okay. Krishna is also Lakshmi's husband. They're non-different from each other. And Mahaprabhu said, oh, yes, what you say is good. I agree. They are non-different from each other. But now I have a deeper question. If they are non-different from each other, and Krishna is also Lakshmi's husband, why is it that Lakshmi Devi was not permitted to enter into that Rasa Leela? Why was she barred? Venkat Bhatta said, oh, Prabhu, this isn't right. Why are you cheating me like this? Why are you doing this to me? I'm only a mere human, and you are the Lord himself. Please, can you explain to me? I don't understand this. I have no knowledge of this. Explain to me how it is that my Lakshmi Devi is not allowed to enter into the Rasa Leela. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to tell so many Tattva Siddhantas, Ras Tattva actually. What is the difference between worshipping in awe and reverence? And what is the difference between worshipping that and Krishna in Braj? How everyone is worshipping Narayan because he is Bhagavan. He is the controller. Everyone worships God with awe and reverence, with so much paraphernalia. But Krishna in Vrindavan, nobody worships Krishna because he is God. They worship him because they love him. Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he said, they don't care if Krishna is God or anything. They don't have this conception. They only know he is my beloved. He is my son. He is my Sakha, my best friend. And their love for Krishna captures him deep in their hearts. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that it is only by their mercy that anyone is allowed into that Rasa Leela, that anyone is allowed even into Braj. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to tell something from Sri Jayadev Goswami. He said, oh Venka, do you know, one time when the Rasa Leela was going on, Srimati Radhika became somewhat upset. She thought, oh, Krishna always tells me that I'm his dear most beloved, but here I see he's dancing with all of the gopis and treating them exactly like me. So she became somewhat haughty and she ran from that Rasa Leela. Krishna immediately left that place and began to run after her, searching, where is she? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained at that time, Krishna knew all the gopis were going to be searching for him. They were calling out and doing kirtan, where is my beloved? Krishna thought, I wonder, if I take the form of Lord Narayan, will they be attracted to me? So he went to one place, it's called Narayan Kund in Paitagaon. Now it is Paitagaon, in Braj. He went there and he took the form of Lord Narayan. He had 4 arms, all kinds of weapons and lotuses and wonderful things, helmets, standing there, looking so beautiful. All the gopis, as they were searching, they also came to this Paitagaon. When they saw Lord Narayan, it is explained that their love for Krishna, they looked at him, but it came somewhat down. Oh, this is Lord Narayan. They became somewhat shy, and they immediately offered pranam to Lord Narayan. But they asked, have you seen Krishna? Where is our beloved? And then they ran again searching. At that time, Srimati Radhika, this is now from Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Swami Maharaj. At that time, Srimati Radhika came into that place. And just by the scent of a breeze going past her, bringing her scent to Krishna, Krishna forgot himself as Narayan. And immediately 2 arms came back into his stomach and he took his Tribhanga Lalit. He was standing in a 3-fold bending form of Krishna, Shyama Sundar. Srimati Radhika stood in front of Krishna. And Sri Bharati Sri Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj said it was a transcendental beauty competition that began. Because Krishna becomes most beautiful in front of Srimati Radhika because her prem is the highest. He must try to reciprocate, even though it is quite hopeless. So Krishna was becoming more and more beautiful. And Srimati Radhika also was becoming more and more beautiful. And it was this like repetition of both of them becoming more beautiful. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj said, what was astonishing was that those gopis that went ahead in front of Srimati Radhika, they were somewhat cheated. They saw Narayan and kept going. But those gopis who came with Srimati Radhika and those young manjaris who were in Anugatya, following behind her, not only did they see the most beautiful form of Brajendranandan Shyama Sundar Krishna, they saw the love between Radha and Madhava. And he said, so Anugatya is so important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, why is it that the gopis were not attracted to Narayan,
Uh-oh.
to your beloved Narayan. They were not attracted. And Venkat Bhatta had to admit, oh, he is lacking some things. Don't think he knows how to dance. We've never heard of him dancing. We've never heard of him playing a flute in the way Krishna is with his devotees. We've never heard of such leelas. And of course, his beauty. His beauty is unsurpassed. And at that time, Sri Venkat Bhatta understood, actually, my eternal nature is to love Braja Krishna. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, they were in this lineage of the Ramanuja Sampradaya. They were the leaders, the head people. And they all became worshippers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Radha and Krishna. And they began to understand, who am I? What is my relationship with Lord Krishna?
That was Venkata Bhatta.
Prabodhananda Saraswati,
Trimala Bhatta.
Trimala Bhatta,
And young
and
Gopal.
Gopal. So, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed them, this is who you are. At that time, it was the end of the 4 months of Chaturmasya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was getting ready to leave. It is said when he was leaving, young Gopal began crying, wailing, please don't leave without me. Take me with you. I must go. Srila Bhakti Balav Tirtha Maharaj says that they were weeping so profusely that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu turned back and stayed some more days.
Wow.
But they couldn't be pacified. How can you be pacified knowing that the imminent separation is about to happen? You can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't think, you know. Any minute, my own heart is about to leave. Gopal, it is said that he said, what is the use of my eyes if I cannot have your darshan? What is the use of breathing in and out if my life air leaves me? How can I go without you? Mahaprabhu looked at this little boy and he said, your parents are my pure devotees. They are not ordinary personalities. You stay with them. You serve them. And when they leave this world, you go to Vrindavan. That was Mahaprabhu's order. And then they watched Mahaprabhu leave. After many years, Gopal's mother and father, they called him to them. And they said, now it is time for you to go to Vrindavan. And I believe it was Bhakti Balav Tirtha Maharaj, he said that they both basically of their own accord left at the same time. And they went back to Goloka Vrindavan. Immediately, Gopal began to go toward Vrindavan. It is said that even though he knew that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he went to Vrindavan. Why? Because it was the order of the Lord. He didn't take his own desire, his own independence. Really, where the order of Guru is, where the order of Krishna is, that is where you will find their darshan. Otherwise, we will be cheated. When we were traveling around the world while Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj was on this planet, we went to him and we said, Srila Gurudev, we never receive your darshan. We never get to see you. All the devotees that invite us, they invite us to the opposite places from where you are because they need to be consoled. So we have to go opposite from you and we never get to see you. And Srila Gurudev, he looked at us and he said, oh, you should know that following my order is directly my darshan. It's not good enough. But we followed the order. Let's be honest. So he went straight to Vrindavan. When he arrived in Vrindavan, unlike Narottam, who went just before Rupa and Sanatan left, when he arrived, Rupa and Sanatan were there. Lokanath Das Goswami, Bhugarba Goswami, all of the close associates of Mahaprabhu were there. And they knew that Gopal was coming. when they saw him, they were so ecstatic and they ran to embrace him. Immediately they wrote to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they told him, Gopal Bhatta has arrived, he has come. Mahaprabhu became so happy and he wrote a letter back and he said, you should take him and you should make him like your little brother. Always be with him for the rest of your lives. And then he sent his own cloth, his sannyas cloth and kopin and his seat that he would take prasad on. And he sent that for Gopal Bhatta. It is explained by Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Maharaj that all of those Vaishnavas, most of them, like Lokanath Das Goswami and Bhugarba Goswami, they went to Vrindavan when they were quite young. And they never physically saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again. They weren't with him in the south. So when Gopal Bhatta came, everyone was surrounding him and they only wanted to know everything about Mahaprabhu. What was his bathing like? What was he eating on this day and that day? What was his schedule? What Harikatha did he tell? How was he dancing and singing? Tell us everything. And Gopal Bhatta was there and he was relaying everything to them. Gopal Bhatta had taken initiation from his uncle, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, who is an eternal associate of especially Radharani and Krishna. Tungavidya Sakhi. So Gopal Bhatta, when he was staying and taking care of his family members, he also was learning all kinds of Vedanta, all kinds of Ras Shastra, and also all kinds of Tattva Siddhanta. And it is by the mercy of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami that we have
Hari Bhakti Vilas
and
Sakriya Sardipika.
And there's one more.
I don't know.
We'll have to do
Sanskar
research.
Deepika.
Yes, all of the Vaishnav Sanskars for Grihastas, for Sannyasis, for everyone. Well done. So, at that time, now I have heard and read different things, and I try to say the closest to our Gurudev, but he didn't say anything in this. You can correct me if this is wrong. But it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Gopal Bhatta in a dream and told him to go to Gandaki River and to go there and that he would find him there. Does anybody?
Have you heard this?
I heard that he went there, but I didn't hear about it.
Okay. So, but from Vrindavan? Because we were trying to find out if it was before he came to Vrindavan or after. There are different stories. If anybody knows, you can correct me, or tomorrow or whenever. But he went there to this beautiful river where all the Shalagram Shilas, pretty much, they're manifest there. And he went there searching for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he entered that river to take his morning bath and to offer his pranam and salutations, he had a kamandalu,
Yes.
a lota, and he was taking water and was going to offer it to the sun. And when he was doing that, he saw what came in his little pot were 12 beautiful Shilas. He did this 3 times. He thought, oh, what is this? And he put them back in. And then he lifted it up, and again those same Shilas came 3 times. And then he thought, well, Mahaprabhu said I would find him here, but it looks like these Shilas want to come home with me. I don't understand. So he took them. One was a very beautiful Damodar Shila that was like his Pradhan Shila. Pradhan Shila means that if you have one particular Shila, and if you can't bathe all of them, if you bathe one of them, all of them are considered bathed.
Something like Gopinath getting the chandan and
Yes,
Giridhari was satisfied by that.
So he was his Pradhan Shila. So every day when he would worship his Shila, he would get up in the morning and worship them. And then at night, what he would do is he would tie them in a cloth or a basket on a tree.
Did he go back to Vrindavan?
Yes. So he went back to Vrindavan. And it happened that one rich merchant, Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Maharaj explained that the rich people, they go to Vrindavan because they know there are sadhus there. And it's not necessarily that they want bhakti or anything from them, but they actually think, oh, this is good for me. It's kind of, it will give me, some good merit. So he went there and he was giving cloth to all the Goswamis. I mean, imagine how great this person is that he got to see Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all the Goswamis were there. And he gave all kinds of jewelry and cloth for their Thakurjis. There, Sanatana Goswami is worshipping Madan Mohan. And Jiva Goswami is worshipping Radha Damodar. Rupa Goswami is there worshipping Radha Govinda. Madhu Pandit's there and he's worshipping Radha Gopinath. All of them had their Thakurs. Lokanath Das Goswami, Radha Vinod. When that merchant, he came to Gopal Bhatta and he offered him jewelry and all kinds of beautiful dresses for his Thakurji. Gopal Bhatta, he began to lament. Oh, I have these beautiful Shilas. And he had so much love and affection for them. But a desire came in his heart. Oh, if only they had arms and legs and you could see their beautiful form like Krishna, then I could dress them like my brothers, my dear most friends. And he began to weep. Oh, I wish I could serve you. This was brought to you, but I can't even use it for you. That night, he tied his Shilas up in the tree and he went to sleep. Our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj said, at midnight, Gopal Bhatta heard a voice. Gopal, wake up, wake up. Come see how beautiful I am. Come see how sweet I am. Gopal jumped up. He grabbed that beautiful bunch of Shilas. He opened it up. And that beautiful Damodar Shila was now Radharaman. He was so beautiful. He was standing in a threefold bending form. He had little nails. And he even had little teeth. He manifested in such a beautiful form. Gopal Bhatta began to weep. He was offering his pranam again and again. And all he could do was try to wait till everyone else woke up so that he could tell them who had manifest. Slowly, it began to go around all of Braj that the Lord had manifested from a Shila. Everyone came, and it was the Goswamis who all came to him and said, this is Radharaman. This is non-different from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srimati Radhika is there, and she is giving so much pleasure to Krishna. That is why Radharaman, if you see him, he seems like he's just by himself. Sometimes, and all the time, they put a crown and a nose ring and a veil. But Gurudev said, we don't follow this thing. He is complete. He is Radharaman. Just how Mahaprabhu is complete. He is Radha Krishna combined. Only Radharaman is black and Mahaprabhu is golden. So everyone began to celebrate. And everybody saw the Goswamis, Rupa Sanatan, they were astonished. Just see how the worship of Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami is, that the Lord burst out of that shalagram, just as Lord Narasimhadev burst out of the pillar. One of the Radharaman Goswamis, he said that there are actually little pieces of the Shila because he literally bursted out and became Radharaman. And it is said that on his back, you can see that he is the same Damodar Shila. No one carved him. He burst out.
Spontaneous manifestation.
What did Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Maharaj say about
this? This took place day after
today.
Nishina Chaturdasi.
Yeah.
So Srila Bharati Maharaj said, so Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami is so intensely desiring, and he's like chastising Krishna. You can burst out of a column Why can't you burst out of her Sheila? And his desire was so intense that that's what happened.
Wow.
So miraculous. It's
So-
so powerful to go through.
It is said that Radharaman is the combined form of 3 of our prominent deities. His feet are of Madan Mohan. His chest and waist and arms are of Govindaji, and his face is of Gopinath. When you have darshan of Radharaman, you're having darshan of all 3. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to Vrindavan with all of his disciples, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was quite radical, he wasn't a Brahmin, but he was initiating Brahmins of the highest caste. He was doing so many things. He was going against this idea that only someone who is born in a particular family can worship the Lord, can chant the names of the Lord. He fought this thing. All of our acharyas have. But they fought him so much that they tried to kill him. But when he came to Vrindavan, all of the Goswamis, they locked their doors and didn't allow Srila Saraswati Thakur or his disciples in to see any of the deities, except one, Radharaman.
Radharaman Juki Jai.
There was one Goswami there who used to preach with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he talked the other Goswamis of Radharaman, no, we have to allow him in. And so when Saraswati Thakur went and all the disciples were with him and he saw Radharamanji, he actually said this thing, it is okay. We have had darshan of Gopinath, of Govinda and Madan Mohan.
In Radharaman, I see
These 3 deities. And they are our deities of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. So how dear is Radharaman? How important is it that we understand who our Goswamis are? You know, actually, it is because of Radharaman that we know so much about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Because when Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wanted to go to different Vaishnavas and beg their permission to write Chaitanya Charitamrita, he went to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and just like Lokanath Das Thakur, Gopal Bhatta Goswami said, I don't want you to write about me. I give you my blessing, but I don't want to be written about. So it is because of the Lord, really, that his glories are all over, and even to this day, everyone is singing Radharamana Haribol, but they know about Gopal Bhatta Goswami because Radharaman self-manifested. Srila Bhakti Balav Tirtha Goswami Maharaj also said that sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would reveal himself as the deity of Radharaman. So that Sheela, that Damodar Sheela that he went searching for, he was searching for Mahaprabhu. It is said that sometimes Gauranga would show himself to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and I thought that was so beautiful because they are non-different. They are non-different from each other. So. Yes.
Just one thing I wanted to add, and maybe someone can fill in the bit that I can't remember, but the Goswamis of Vrindavan did later allow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and his followers to get darshan.
Later, yes.
Well,
I
what?
forget why, if you want to say why, but except for one, that was Banki Bihari, because the Pujari of Banki Bihari said, if you all come here with your dandas, he'll be afraid. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, okay, then very good, we won't come to Banki Bihari, we don't want to scare Thakurji. But all the others allowed there.
Because the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how I said they were from the highest castes of Brahmins. They went to Madan Mohan. They went to different of those Goswamis because they weren't, one of them, it was actually Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Maharaj who explained that, I don't remember which
Goswami
disciples.
Maharaj.
Was it?
Atul Chandra.
They went there. And they said, you're not even qualified to wash my feet. Your caste. And we
They said, if you want to discuss caste, if you want to have this argument, you're not qualified to even wash my feet.
Bhakti Saranga Goswami, Maharaj, he said, I remember now, he said, you remember your family wanted to marry into my family and my family refused because you're below
lower, yes.
our caste.
So they used that so that they could understand how great Saraswati Thakur is. And one more thing. When the Muslims were attacking Mathura and Vrindavan, all of those main deities, they were very large, and the Muslims were coming in and they were breaking the deities, they were destroying the temples, they were doing so many atrocities. So all of the deities were taken to Jaipur and to different places. They no longer stayed in Vrindavan. Only 2 deities stayed in Vrindavan. One is Vrinda Devi in Kamyavan. She came in a dream and told the king, I can't leave Vrindavan. I'm Vrinda Devi. I can't leave. Please keep me here. So Vrinda Devi, she was the deity of Sri Rupa Goswami. She stayed in Vrindavan. And Radha Raman, because he is about this big.
So sweet.
He's about this big. He was able to stay in Vrindavan. It is said that when anyone would come and start attacking the temple, they would take Radha Raman and they would lower him in a well. And they would hide him in a basket in a well. And then they would pull him up when it was safe to bring him out. So Radha Raman never left Vrindavan.
And Rupa Goswami's Yoga Maya.
Oh, and Rupa Goswami's Yoga Maya. So if you ever go to Govindiji Mandir, you'll see that before it used to be like a cave, but now they've made it so it's a little room that you can go in. But if you beg the pujari and maybe give a little bakshish, means some money, sometimes they will take you back there and you can go down into this room and have darshan of the deity of Yoga Maya Devi. And also, they don't bar you from actually touching her. And she was the deity of Rupa Goswami. At Govindaji Mandir, do you know when you're there and there's the main mandir and then you go behind?
On the left side.
And there's like another kind of mini mandir. And there's like these stairs that go up to it. They'll bring you in and then you go down these stairs and around and there's this tiny little room and you'll find Yoga Maya there.
What, in the little one, in the temple?
Yeah, on the
Just
on the left of
behind.
Govindaji temple.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So Shyam Prabhu also mentioned about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and I just want to touch on it a little bit, why they also accepted him. Because he had there was a meeting, and it was entitled, you can read it, Brahman and Vaishnava. So in those meetings, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada glorified Brahmanas from the Shastras, from all of the Shastras, in such a way that the Brahmins became so happy and so proud they were practically dancing. What amazing glorification that he has given of the Brahmanas. We have never heard anything like this. And it's all confirmed by Shastra. They were so happy. Everything was verified, and there was a judge in this. One of the Goswamis, and he said, yes.
One of the Radharaman
Goswamis. Yes, everything he is told is true. It's all verified by Shastra. I cannot contest any of it. The second part of this series was the glories of Vaishnavas. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada left no stone unturned, pulled out all the stops, and glorified Vaishnavas with every quote from Shastra. And it was irrefutable proof that the position of the Vaishnavas was in the superior position from the perspective of Krishna and from the perspective of Shastric truth. And they were somewhat upset. They began buzzing. And they looked at him, is it true? And he said, as far as I can tell, everything he is told is verifiable by Shastra. There is nothing he is told that is untrue. Then they realized no ordinary human can have this kind of knowledge and to be able to present these things like that.
They all started rushing him to touch
They
his
rushed
feet.
the stage.
And the Radharaman
They all wanted to
Goswami
bathe his
had
feet.
to take him, and he hid him in the back of the pandal, and they forcibly, because he wouldn't allow it, he was quite young then too, they forcibly washed his feet. And then they went and gave the Charnamrita to everyone because they were all rushing to try to touch him.
So from that time, they realized what a powerful personality he is, and they all accepted him as a great and divine personality.
And this is a book,
Brahmana and Vaishnava.
Srila Brahman Raj or Srila Paramguru published this book, Brahman or Vaishnava.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get it in English also, Brahman and Vaishnava.
Brahmana
Yes.
Vaishnava.
Thank you.
Small book, very nice.
So then the doors were opened for him and his disciples. It took a little while longer for them to be opened for the disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, but most of them, well, they all are now, that we can go in there. So we, meaning all the devotees from the Western countries, are able to go inside the temples in Vrindavan. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gopal Bhatta Goswami Pad ki
Jai.
Radha Ramanuju ki
Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
What's the time? 5 to 9. That's time.
Okay, now we will begin our class.
No.
That was a taster.
This is the very complicated subject of Buddha avatar. Shri Buddha